This show is brought to you by... Are you ready to take your show to the next level? Look no further than Podcast Base Plus, your all-in-one solution for video podcasting success. At Podcast Base Plus, we don't just film and edit your show. We offer a full-service experience that sets us apart from the rest. With Podcast Base Plus, you can focus on what you love, creating exceptional content while we handle the technicalities behind the scenes. So why settle for anything less? Step into the future of podcasting with Podcast Base Plus. Elevate your podcast today. Visit our website or call to book now.
Fellas, I only use social media as a distraction.
You said a distraction. It is a distraction.
And what role does it play in my daily life? It's a distraction.
So explain that to us.
Well, I mean, sitting somewhere where you're bored or you're waiting for something, what else can you do? Just occupy your time, space. Sometimes it's just a good step away. Yeah, from everything. Because, if you recognize how the algorithm works, you just start creating an algorithm that makes you feel happy most of the time.
Right.
When you go on, you're like, oh, hey, look, this is nice. Like my stuff's always like cool places to visit.
Right. I like that.
Yeah, I like funny things or something good.
Yeah. Let's start definitely looking up Nashville.
Gotta talk Nashville.
I'm similar. It's curated. A lot of people are muted. Why don't you reply to cousin? Why don't you reply on my post? I didn't see it because you're muted.
Right.
So a lot of muted, and I like the ads. I like how Facebook can pick up on the ads, and you can see certain ads. You know what I mean? I don't know. I like the marketing thing. It's just
because you're interested in marketing.
Yeah. So it's like the ad. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is an interesting ad, and they'll show you another ad. And okay, this is terrible, and this is this. But so I like the ads. Sometimes a distraction. Sometimes I'll go on there. Oh, what's Meg the Stallion up to these days?
You said distraction. You had it covered.
What's Meg the Stallion going? What she got going on these days? But other than that, I'm just not. I'm not into it as such, but people
are. I guess for me, kind of the same distraction, but also sometimes I use it to, I can find things to educate myself or to get a little bit more hip to certain things that I didn't know before.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's usually the same thing. You're looking up things that make you laugh or give you a good sense of energy. It's weird to me when I see certain things on social media where you see people angry and that social media hating and all that. That just is crazy. It's just bro, you spend your time on here to do that.
Right. And doom scrolling.
I'm just that's really I'm just whoa. That's great on that. You know what I'm saying? So things like that, when I hear about it, I think it's strange because it's just I'm not gonna spend my time that I am using. I probably shouldn't be using it on this anyway, but if I am, it's not gonna be to down somebody or to hurt somebody's feelings. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Or people that want to broadcast every single thing that's going on in their life. I'm just bro, we did not need to know that.
Right. So I talk about that all the time, right? That we literally. I just said this on Sunday, as a matter of fact. I said, where did it become popular for you to go live at a funeral, right? For you to take pictures of a corpse.
Selfie with your corpse?
Yeah. You know what I mean? When did this become, no respect for the dead? You know what I mean? When did this become okay? I just talked about that on Sunday, is that people literally live their lives through social media now.
Right.
Literally.
Right.
So for me, my usage is because I don't pick up the Palm Beach Post anymore. I just pick up social media. It is the Palm Beach Post now.
But
Right, you can get your daily news from it. You know,
Don't you think some of that's probably because of the pandemic, and when that happened, a lot of people were at home,
absolutely. I mean,
and pretty soon people that couldn't find means of income started trying to become like an influencer,
absolutely.
trying to be whatever. So they felt like now I gotta, bro. I don't know, maybe
Like
has
But not only do I find that to be my daily news,
right.
it's the word on the street too.
Yeah,
You know, for people who don't know how to keep their lives or personal, let me say that, personal lives off of that. Like you just heard Alexis ask, you know, I didn't know you had meningitis, right? Because I didn't publicize it
right.
on social media.
Right.
It was a personal matter. So I don't need to tell the world
Everybody was
that I'm
going
down. I don't need to take a picture in the hospital bed for likes.
So that I'm dying.
Yeah, for likes.
Got shot
Yeah.
8 times. Real talk.
you know, so I told him on Sunday, I said, man, we do anything for likes and we do anything for clout.
Right.
And you want attention is what you want.
People want to be liked, man.
People want to be
That
like
like is a
the
drug,
next big
man.
influencer.
Oh, Chris Rock I just
Oh.
watched this thing last night.
I did not
You
watch
like
it.
I was laughing
You like
so
it?
hard, man.
He went crazy.
He
went crazy.
Now I gotta watch
I'll
it.
tell you what, he's harder than he's been in years.
I said the
He's
same
harder
thing.
than he's been in
I said the
years.
same thing.
That slap.
Hey, woke him up.
Oh, it did. And it was crazy because at the end he like points out how much he was like, I was a huge fan of Will Smith. And he's like, that was really hard. You know? It's like, but he's so hard. But I love that he said our addiction now is attention.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
was like,
But that goes back to this right here, right?
Right, exactly.
You know, so I mean, for me, it's get up. You know, I might scroll, catch some news, catch what's the word,
Right.
and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't use it to share my personal, intimate moments.
Right.
I don't think that that's what it's for. It was never designed for that, right? But now, when you really look at the heart of the matter, it looks like Americans are test subjects
Man,
on it.
Actually,
even that, man.
I'm stepping back. It was designed for that.
People love
It was
drama.
designed to pull people in.
It was designed for that.
People love. Right.
I said sugar, caffeine,
Oh yeah,
attention, and music.
Yeah.
Those 4 things are used to draw people in, but social media just
say that caffeine is worse
is
than crack.
attacking the
It's the
attention.
catalyst.
It's attacking the attention. Sugar,
That is my favorite drug. I would.
me too.
I like
I'm
caffeine.
with you. Me too.
Well, maybe my second, but it's the one I have every day.
Yeah, sugar and caffeine is huge.
Which was the first?
Sugar and caffeine.
I was in the gym the other day, and on top of the feed, I couldn't hear the words though, and they didn't have the teleprompter on, or the words weren't coming across. But I saw something that said possible ban on TikTok coming up. Anybody know about that?
Yeah. The government's like,
China
trying to.
China owns it or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like literally, their TikTok is totally different from the version that they give us here. Their version is more like educational. It really helps the kids to educate themselves, and like their children are actually learning stuff
right.
on the TikTok that they play in China compared to the one here. It's all about entertainment because they have an understanding that maybe Americans, like to be on TV a lot,
Right.
you know?
Well,
So we like the
listen,
attention.
Yeah.
So therefore, they built
They're not wrong.
that version to our liking, basically. And
Okay,
obviously
so how? Just follow me here for a
All right,
second.
go ahead.
How is that any different from any capitalist organization who starts anything?
It ain't.
They're like, oh, this is our focus group.
Yep.
This is where we're gonna make our money, and this is how we get that money. I'm not angry with them.
It's not what they're feeding us.
It's the information they're sucking,
Right.
siphoning off.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Security.
and we buy it though. That's the
Yep,
problem.
exactly.
We buy it.
I went from Montana to North Carolina. From Montana to North Carolina without being shot down. But that's another whole nother thing. But yeah, so it's for China was that.
Yeah.
But it was engineered. That whole thing is engineered. It's all. I think any culture, if they're being socially engineered, like how Facebook did it, and I mean, I just couldn't believe how far it got, especially with the younger kids, because
And now I have AI.
Yeah, that's crazy. Not the AI.
we have AI that's available to the public. They always had it.
Right.
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 But the
Yeah,
AI is
yeah,
getting
yeah, it's
smarter.
getting
Yeah,
smarter.
way. Yeah.
We spoke about that, right?
A little bit, yeah. But I can guarantee you this though, that ain't gonna get banned. It's too much money.
I think it's good though.
Too much money.
I think AI is good. I'm thinking,
Mike is always defending AI. Because when the robot overlords take over, they're gonna know Mike was on their
They were
side.
like, Mike. They were like, Mike, you good.
Listen, the kids are. I think it's just because the way I see my son, he's not even 2. And the way he can mess with the phone when he knows how to type in codes. And I mean, he's not even 2 years old, so he understands that part. You know, if you're born in the late 1900s, you start to talk about, you know, it's the equivalent of us being in front of the TV. How your parents were like, you're always in front of the TV.
Idiot box.
But the TV and the things that we watched then weren't half as, I dare to say, bad.
I mean, think about
you
what
know,
our parents were saying back then too. Like,
Right,
they
but-
were watching the stuff that.
but
we were
here's the
watching,
thing, though,
this is
right?
terrible, because I couldn't even watch more.
I just found out, because I didn't know. Maybe I'm a little slow. I just found out that the kids don't know how to read cursive no more. Like,
They don't. They'll write-
that's
they'll write
crazy.
or write.
They stopped it at a certain point. They supposedly brought it back, but a certain group of kids. I want to say like there's like a 5 to 7 or 8 year age gap where that group of kids did not know how to write in cursive or read how to write a signature.
What was the point of cursive?
I don't know, but I learned
Fancy.
it.
You know how to write a signature? It's not just
Cursive was supposed to help us write faster.
Right now I have to start over.
You want me to mic check, or you're fine? Okay, yeah. So cursive was supposed to was a means for us to write faster. That way your hands didn't have to, when you're doing print, you have to lift your. So cursive, but now
Just taught me something new.
now you're swiping on the, you know, everything is on this keyboard.
even that,
My
man.
son's keyboard is different from. He doesn't have the ASDF, you know, the QWERTY keyboard. He has like some old different, like when you go into his phone, it's a different way to type. And it's supposed to be more efficient. I was like, I'm too old to learn that. But I thought it was interesting that he has a different keyboard on his, you know, for his text messages and phones. Because I was trying to text something. I'm like, what? These aren't the words the letters I'm picking. I looked, I said, why is the keyboard like that? And he's just, that's what we use. I said, okay.
and these kids do not know how to write, man. Like,
No, spelling, writing. No.
They hate that,
Putting a sentence together the right way,
like
grammar,
that.
terrible.
Hey,
and it's sad, man. Like,
Terrible.
It's
It's de-evolution, gentlemen. De-evolution.
What's
They
next?
write an IDK, you be like, bro, that is not a word.
Listen,
And they-
anytime, I'll tell you who I block on text. Anyone when you say thank you, I write out thank you. Because do you know why?
See why?
Do you know why I write it out? Because I'm giving gratitude. So you deserve me to write it
The
out.
whole way out.
Right.
So when you put
And
T,
so-
I was like,
And
It's
so
not
if somebody,
enough.
if somebody does TY or YW, I'm like, F you. That's it. I can't handle it.
Will is going to be one of these crotchety.
I was born in the late 1990s.
crotchety old man.
Go ahead.
How has
It impacted men's relationships, both romantic and platonic, and how do men navigate these changes off of social media? Well, I do believe, personally, a lot of the social media, based on what your feed or your algorithm shows you, can give you a false sense. This is no different
Oh,
than
absolutely.
it's no different than reality TV, right?
Absolutely.
You know, they chop and screw and put things in,
off of
you
it.
know. And so I think that you know, again, you know, the trend was, you know, people start filming their proposals, you know, let's get engaged and let's put it on social media, you know.
gender reveals.
Yeah, gender reveal, you know.
Such white people shit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Me personally. Me personally.
It's Western culture at this point. Because I didn't know it was just. It's a first world country thing, and we're getting off topic.
No.
Because
We're listen. This is male perspective. We're allowed to get
Oh,
whatever
whatever
topic
we
we
want,
want.
right?
This is just our starting point. We may end up in Timbuktu on this. We don't know.
I'm gonna tell you what.
It's never impacted my relationship
Right.
romantically. You know, I
When
felt
did you
like-
and your wife I guess when did y'all how
So-
long you all been together?
So this year in June we'll be married 19 years.
Okay. See,
To get together 23.
So-
24 actually. So My relationship with her supersedes social media.
Absolutely. And it's really like the last, I want to say for me, when I look at it, it might be the last, we're in 2023. I got to keep reminding myself, but since 2000 and maybe 12, 13, I hope not. 2012, 2013, it's a different ball. I mean, completely different. Because I was dating in the early 2000s, late 1900s, different kind of interaction with women. 2008, I'm thinking this is just the point because I remember that's when Rock passed away. So that different environment in regards to it, I think MySpace and Facebook just started to come on around 2008, and then 2012. But 2000 I feel like 2015 and now, and then you can even say like post-pandemic, because the pandemic introduced a whole different kind of thing. Because before it was weird to go on these different dating apps, the Hinges, the Bumbles, the apps. I mean, you were on there, but it was like, okay, we ain't gonna tell nobody we met on it kind of thing. Dude. Now it's people are getting married from those met on those apps.
Not only that, they're these kids. They're meeting each other through the social media. So when we used to say, I'm gonna go holler at that girl, it was in person, right? Now it's let me shoot her a DM. Oh, we just talk via FaceTime or video chat, and that's how we getting down. Right. Like I couldn't, and so
I got a story.
So I'm not gonna put it out there about somebody I know, but they were DMing. Never had met for over a month and a half.
Oh, that's nothing.
Right? month and a half was just straight DMs and FaceTime.
Oh, okay. How was the age, around the age range? I'm just curious.
17, 18.
Okay.
17, 18.
I got one for you.
17, 18. But I can only imagine how the chain that goes now.
Man, listen, I had a kid that was 17, 18. He was dating this girl that lived in Georgia, dating. They were going out.
Via IG, right?
Hold on. No. They were in the same physical location going out?
No, he lived in Florida.
Virtual dates.
And she lived in Georgia.
How are they going out? They both stepped outside at the same time?
She would tell him when and where he could go out to.
What?
She would tell him what time he had to be at home. Yes, and he was committed. Yes. With a girl in Georgia.
He was virtually neutered.
Virtually. Yeah.
Asked this dude. I was like, yo, so like.
And they met online.
Have you ever met her?
Nope.
Nah, never seen her in person.
Yeah.
I'm like, you went to Georgia like a week ago. Yeah. You were supposed to meet her. Yeah, but nah.
Oh, yeah, he might be getting catfished.
He was supposed to be graduating.
That's catfish.
Right? He was supposed to be graduating, and she was about to move down here.
What?
Yeah,
and live with this dude in this family.
That's love.
Man, what?
That's love.
Nah.
So, the way social media works, listen, fellas.
It's adults doing it too now.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about these things.
That's a kid, and that's gullible. But you have adults.
Yeah, you have adults, 25, 35,
40.
Believe in it.
Yeah.
Doing that?
Dude,
yes.
Dude,
oh,
it's
man.
the great.
Believe in it, bro.
I know.
That's crazy.
My daughter has at least
about?
3 friends who are dating people online.
Yeah.
And I asked her, I was like, kid, you can't date anyone. You can't, you don't know anything about them. Listen, if you're not in the same space, you can't read someone's energy. You got nothing understanding of that person.
But here's the thing. I think, crazy. Because I've dated women who, they were always out of town. A lot of women that I've seen. Now, let me not say a lot of women.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, some women.
We know you're a traditional man.
There's some. Well, there's some of their longest relationships have been these long distant relationships. These California, but I think here's something that I looked into when I was like, yeah, this is, after about the third or fourth time, this is weird. What's this about? A lot of people don't want them to be in their space,
right?
Because you can always play this perfect thing. This online person, you're gonna show the best pictures. You're gonna show you're gonna put on your best. You don't have to be with anyone for an extended period of time.
Of course.
I was with I was taking this older couple out. They came from they moved here, and I was talking to and I'm gonna get in trouble. I was talking to the wife.
Don't do it.
No, I was talking to the wife.
Don't do it.
But they don't. they're not used to being around each other for long periods of time. You know what I mean? And this is
working schedules.
that's what they're gonna be. But they're not. So when they're, at first it's this whole thing. After about the third week, they're like, they can't. It's like they can't stand it. But now they got to go back to the separate lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And you have these happen. But I think it's even more prevalent now with the internet, because people are sliding in DMs.
So what the young kids that I keep finding out with the kids, social media has depleted social skills.
Oh yeah.
It has allowed them to become.
If you guys want to ever
That
see
really
that,
COVID was big.
if you guys want to see how it's depleted, go to a kid's dance, like a kid's function, and watch.
Everybody got the phone. Everybody
Right.
got the phone in their hand.
You'll see the boys up against the wall, caught up, like these boys that act like they're big and bad in school or whatever. As soon as that dance comes, they see those girls that they be pushing around and punching in the arm. They see that girl dressed up, and they don't know how to act.
Right.
So it's like, oh snap, I ain't know she look like that when she get proper.
So here's the thing that I'm hearing though, right? Because, my daughter's dated,
Mm-hmm.
and my first thing is let me meet him. I guess my daughter likes to say that I'm a little intimidating
Right.
to
I'm supposed to be,
But-
so that's a good.
You ain't
So,
showing
but-
up
but-
to the
but
door
here's the
like
thing,
Will
though, right?
Smith and Martin.
I try to give her game when she's solo.
How old you is?
You already know. You already
Reggie?
know. But what I'm hearing is, he's socially awkward. She's socially awkward. In other words, it's their.
Who says that?
Well, this is what I'm hearing about the children. Period.
Okay.
This boy's socially awkward. This girl's socially awkward, meaning they don't like to have conversations with people. I'm like, how would you be with this person long term?
Right.
If they're socially
Awkward. You can't even
Awkward.
converse with
So
them.
really, their reality is the social media relationship.
Absolutely.
And to me, I can't. It blows my mind. So your love is based off of a virtual conversation,
Right.
and and their mind has really made it. Oh, this is a real relationship. I mean, it's serious to them too.
But the thing
like a
that messes
serious
up with-
relationship.
the thing that messes up with it too is because social media makes it so physical. There's nothing under that, so you're looking at it from the superficial. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
All you're doing is seeing the face. Like even with the dating apps, like you think about it, why are you swiping right or left? She fine, right? She ugly, left. She ugly, left. Right? It's not like, oh, she has a nice personality. Oh, I can see
It'd be tough to
through her
tell,
pictures that she has some type of character about it. That is not what a dude is thinking, and vice versa too. That's probably not what a woman is thinking. She's looking at the dude's pictures to see what, like, does he dress nice?
Yeah.
Does he look clean? Does
She's trying to see if he caught fish. That's what women have told me, because men hold
the
fish up.
picture?
in
Oh,
the
I heard
pictures.
that's a thing. I heard that's a
That's
thing.
what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
So you're probably right.
Yeah, it's
But-
real. I'm not
But
even
what I'm
joking.
saying is the superficial thing. So at the end of the day, what happens is when these people meet, there's nothing else to talk about because all you did was see the physical. And it's crazy because, like you said, if you spend that much time on social media, you do become socially awkward. So now it's like there's nothing to talk about, where back in the day, we didn't have that. I mean,
Get
think
around
about
each
it.
other and they're like this.
When we were sending, like, when we had a girlfriend in school, we were sending notes. You know what I'm saying? Like, we
Right,
were writing
right,
stuff out
right.
to her.
But
You know
nah,
what I'm
it's
saying? Telling
text.
her,
They'll text
where
in the
am
same
I?
room.
Miss what's the name class?
Text.
What am I listening to? This song. What time is it? First period. Like, you writing everything down, letting her know how you felt, So now it's just,
My son's swimming in the waters, man. So because I checked his phone and he's caking on the phone.
he in the DMs.
And they on Twitch and they on the video, like it's almost, to me it's constant contact.
Mhm.
He got a couple girlfriends. I hope his mother hears this. So it's like you see it. Like I had to take it.
Ratted your own son.
Dry snitching.
But he's very personable.
Okay.
I think that's the only reason why he goes to school. Like he's like, so I think there may be some that are doing it, and there's probably a portion of the people who just don't necessarily get it. But he's like, like I said, I think that's the only reason why he goes to school is because he wants to be, I'm popular, Dad. People know me. That's what he tells, that kind of thing. So, but then I'm sure there's a lot of them who are in that game and they're,
My question is this: do you think that social awkwardness also comes from maybe them not having interactions with mom and dad, or just people.
Well, the phones and the social itself is taking away that.
Right.
You know, I used to have a little family tradition, which most of us probably did when we were coming up. You know, we sat around the table and ate dinner together, especially on Sundays.
Right. Yeah.
And I had this tradition with my kids, all of them, every Sunday, you know, because we recognize Monday through Saturday, everybody's doing their own thing. So for about 10 years, our family congregated faithfully to some kind of restaurant, home, whatever, doing dinner. Pandemic hit, all three of the kids want to go their own way. I don't want to go. I don't want to go out. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I think that everything that's, you know, in this phone, which is mainly the apps that they use, has become a distraction. And so that's how they're learning. Like you said, that's education for them, right? That's their education. That's their communication. And if they can use that, why do I need to go talk to mom and dad? I got other things to do. I got other people to see, you know, so to speak. So I do kind of fault the social media for it. And, you know, again, it has diminished their social skills and everything else. I mean, just some of the things that I see in the kids today that I think are common sense, they don't have it anymore, or what I would deem not common sense. They don't even know how to write checks.
It sounds like a group of old dudes just sitting around.
Kids today. So I'm looking at the question, right? And it says how social media has impacted men's relationships, both romantic and platonic.
I think you have to go generational on that though, because for me, it hasn't impacted my relationship at all. Well, romantically, especially.
I think romantically now, I feel like a lot of dudes have become, I don't want to say cowardice, because that's like, you know, but like soft. Like they won't even approach women to talk to women.
Dude, I hear some
of the boys. They rather approach a woman, like they'll see a woman in public, right? Or they'll have her social media
and hit her on the DM.
Instead of like, so they can see her in public and literally be like, oh, I know who this person is.
Hit them on DM.
They'd rather be like, oh, I saw you the other day.
Right. It's more of, okay, swipe right. the live swipe right. Yeah, I saw her swiping right.
But no, what I mean is like they actually know
no courage, person. Like, no courage to approach.
It's just like no courage to approach. It's like, oh, I seen you out the other day and this and that. You know, and it's like, bro, you can't just.
That's that socially awkward thing, though. That's the socially awkward thing.
Hold on a second. They got a new tool. They're using it.
That's what you think.
You're hating the game. You're hating the player.
Oh,
what's going on?
My bad.
What'd you say? Evolution, right?
It's evolution.
I think it's a laziness thing.
Right.
Like it's so
easier.
It's so much easier for you just to, you know, just do that and not even have to. There's actually an app that'll put in what you need to write. Like you don't even have to say that. You can take a screenshot. You can put it in the app, and the app will say it'll say what to say next. You can copy and paste.
Oh wow!
So now we know how Mike's getting down.
And then with the platonic thing, sometimes I feel like that messes with people. Like you have friends that like get mad at you because you don't like their post or certain things like that.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, bro, like you serious? Like I see you every day.
But you know what though? Let me flip the game on that though. Right? I know people who can tell me what I wear, where I was at, what I was doing. I don't care if you don't like it, but when you could tell me what I wear and tease me about my clothes, my shoes,
right?
But you like the post,
right?
Hold up, let me.
Right, you're my homie, right?
Yeah, let me go see your name real quick. Let me go see your name real quick. To me, that's a form of haterade.
Right. Ain't that something that's free? And it's free to like, and it's free to comment.
So if you really did like,
and they would rather not do that,
you didn't hit the like button.
That's interesting.
But you're throwing shade to me underneath, right?
Right, you kind of.
So I know a couple people like that. I know some people like that. I know some people like that.
Use social media to basically.
Oh, I'm following. So you were over there? Oh, I see you wearing.
Yeah.
Where you get those shoes from?
Right.
Oh, you.
But no,
it's free.
Well, hold on, let me go.
Free game.
It's free just to click twice or whatever it is. You don't got to put a comment. Just
that's it.
if you see, sometimes I'm just clicking and I'm
I
not
don't
even
need
paying
no
attention.
comments. I don't even
not
need your
even paying
comments.
attention
But
to
don't
it.
tell me what I'm wearing. and you that's low line envy, jealousy, whatever you want to call it. That's shade though, right? And I don't care if you don't like it, but don't come tell me then.
How do we
Don't come.
Well, that will hurt people.
Yeah, we're gonna hit that block button. Well, for me, it's unfollow.
Remember
I
Chris
unfollow.
Rock said it's a whole victim mentality thing. You can't put
Everybody's
that on
a
like
victim?
because people actually and I thought this was a joke, but it's serious. Where they'll post something, and if they don't get a certain amount of likes in a certain amount of time, they'll take it down.
Oh wow, what?
I'm telling you,
Now, that's a
you
new
in the
one.
and no,
That's a
and,
new
and
one.
it's not like just one. It's a lot of people. They'll take it down. Like they taking the
took it
post down.
down.
When I saw, I think Gary Vee said it. He mentioned it, and then I went back and I started seeing people doing. I said, just because they didn't get a certain amount of likes on the post or whatever that may have you, and they take it down. They
Or they
put a different
learn
angle.
the algorithm of certain things, and they learn that maybe the more you take it down and put it up or whatever like that, you probably can generate more likes. I'm telling you, a lot of these people, man, they become
Doing the thing for
experts
clout.
at this. I'm telling you.
I think people.
Doing the thing.
I think we need to get back to giving fewer fucks. That's the problem. These kids nowadays, everything gets up there. Everybody's throwing care and concern and all. And I didn't get this many likes. That's shit. I want to go back to when I was in the late 1900s. When you talk shit, you get hit. You get real consequence in the
for
real
certain.
world.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah.
people are not hiding behind their computers and creating fake accounts and doing all this nonsense.
This is crazy how like you're saying, like
crazy.
certain dudes will literally try to like they'll make a comment that's derogatory and mean just because they know that it'll generate enough traction for them to get some type of famous.
Yeah.
Then like they don't even mean what they say though.
Oh, this is why they call
And
it
it's like,
infamous,
like,
right?
you-
seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
You playing the
why they call it
wrong
infamous.
game. Like
Yeah.
you don't even know who you playing when you talking about people a certain way like that. It's like
Is it not that most of what we see via influencer Hollywood, they're famous because they were infamous? Kardashian. Let me say it again. Kardashian.
They
well,
were the
one's famous
they're
for
the
getting cheated on. The other one's famous.
wait.
Oh,
Kim started it all with a video.
Right.
right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well,
One's famous for getting cheated on. The other one's famous for making videos.
Well,
That's what
the
I'm saying.
culture is
But
based
again,
on the
not
Kardashians.
infamous.
Like
Right? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So they now the day is like you just said. Let me go out and do something stupid or say
yes.
something stupid, and I'll get followers no matter what.
Right.
And you know what? It'll all blow over, but I got a gang of
followers,
followers
right.
from this one thing. And to me, man, it's just again. I'm gonna say it again. They do anything for clout.
I blame Jackass for the whole thing.
for the
whole
stunt,
thing.
yeah, that whole stunt, yeah.
Doing dumb things and getting famous
What they
for
call
it.
it?
Y'all was here when they had,
A prank. It was
what-
pranking.
What
It was
was,
pranking.
what
It's
was that
pranking.
one
It's
thing they had in
pranking.
Palm Beach where they had them kids fighting?
Gangsters and Thugs.
Wasn't it?
Raylo.
yeah.
Yeah, that whole-
okay, y'all
remember
forget
that was crazy.
Yeah, he had that.
You remember the Gangsters and Thugs
That was
DVD?
around like 2000.
Oh, the
like,
DVD. Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
yeah,
before
yeah.
two. It was
It was before
yeah, it was like,
2010.
it was like
man,
05,
like they was
06.
literally like
down
like
at City Place.
film
It was
kids,
crazy.
Like literally just try to boost.
You thought,
fights
but you
and
thought
have
Palm
kids
Beach was
fight.
a war zone. You watched that video, you be like, man, Palm Beach is a war zone, boy. Because they was loose on that Gangsters and Thugs DVD.
man.
But that was social media before social media, though.
Yeah,
Right?
Yeah. Did they have
Yeah,
bomb
right,
sites
yeah,
then?
MySpace. Yeah, he was.
Oh, they would pick on it. Sometimes they would go in like
City Place was
It was lit down there.
Huh?
It was
Yeah,
lit.
yeah,
like, it was-
yeah.
Sometimes it was like real, like it was. Yeah.
Oh, there was a
That's why the curfew.
yeah.
that they
Oh
had
yeah, it
down
was
there,
because
That
of
was
the
that-
Gangsters
that
and
is
Thugs.
because
Yeah,
of that.
Is that still in
Wow.
place?
The curfew is yes,
Down
it
there?
is still in place.
where you got to be
because
by
of that.
Publix by a
Yeah,
certain
you got to
time.
be at Publix by a certain time
Yeah,
if
that was
you're
insane.
if you're like what was it?
Under 18.
17 and under.
Really?
Yeah, you could not be inside the City Place at 8 o'clock.
Wow.
And
At 8 o'clock you had to be.
I'm gonna
out.
tell you
8 or
how
9 o'clock.
crazy that video was. Is that because they were, Palm Beach has had where you were at, Rivera versus downtown, and you had like these little different things, but it made it more diversified. Like it made it more polarized to be from, and then they started going to streets. Well,
but
from
that's the thing.
Ninth
MySpace
Street
was the one that
and
was
Eighth
broadcasting
Street.
it. So if you think about it, that was the social media of our era.
But that's what I'm saying. That was
MySpace
social
the
media
one
before
putting-
social media.
Yeah, that was
We had
all.
Black
And
Planet.
then you had Raylo and them on the radio, you know, or you had them on the radio
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about it and
That's
everything.
too funny.
See, you guys are mad because you were right. You were doing the bicycles of social media.
Yeah.
These kids got real
they got-
things.
Yeah, they got the
They got real
cars.
things. They're evolving.
They got the cars.
Next question.
What's next? What are some common misconceptions or stereotypes about men and love?
That we don't like to cuddle. Damn, we like to cuddle.
Like to be the little spoon.
Oh, I'm definitely the big spoon. I'm definitely big spoon. But we like to cuddle. All right, at least I do. I don't know about everybody else. I'm not gonna speak for everybody else. Come on.
Everybody,
This is a misconception.
woo. Wow. Go ahead, Mike. You've been around the block. Go ahead, Mike.
I'm still trying to understand the question. Like, what are common misconceptions? You tell me what are some common misconceptions?
That we don't cry
Is that love though? Is that what love?
about.
Love, you want to come
About
out and add
men.
to it?
It's
Yeah,
about
please.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
beep it up for us.
Yeah, I need
Come
some
on out and beep it up
context.
for us.
I'm in. You know, I think I'm pretty authentic, man.
Mike is the man.
No. I'm pretty authentic. I think as it goes along, like people can't believe like this is just that this is me. So I need to learn to give people more space because I tend to be a very regimented and disciplined individual. So I don't know. I think all the misconceptions are true about me.
Oh,
So,
hey, misconceptions.
so
Whatever
what I'm
you-
saying, like,
whatever you-
with the
hey.
love game, you just like
I'm just me, man. I'm me around everybody. There's really no. I'm a different kind of person behind closed doors. I don't know.
I think I'm gonna generalize
Maybe I'm
this
missing it.
one.
Maybe I'm missing it.
A lot of women say men don't know what they want.
As far as
A relationship.
okay,
I think that's a misconception.
Okay.
I think some of us who have matured,
right.
all right, not still living life through this. I think some of us know what we want. We know exactly what we want.
okay,
I think with that though, because they do perceive us not to think we know what we want. They think that we dance around everything, and when we become very matter of fact, it might be a little tough for some of them.
Right.
So that's probably where you say, hey, my regimen is like boom, 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 boom.
like I say, I'll tell you. You know what I mean? Like this is, but I'm only gonna tell you once. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna say I don't like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
But
don't.
that's a matter of fact.
Yeah, yeah,
though,
yeah.
right? I'm
I don't-
boom.
yeah, I
I'm
don't like
blunt.
this.
I'm blunt about it. Right?
And then the first time, I'm gonna remind you. Remember when I told you I didn't like this? The second time, I'm not. There's no more conversation to be
That's
had.
what they call it, the verbal notice, baby.
Yeah.
The verbal notice.
So it's
Like,
like
shoot it across the bow if she doesn't get the hint.
I just get out the way. I think men tend to be more caught up in the romanticizing of the entire like just how romantic the love is versus what women think it is. I think a lot of men really want to settle down. I think a lot of men really want.
So that's a misconception.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They
yeah.
say that we
So
ain't.
I
They say
think
that.
a lot of
I
women
wanna
think that, but I think that's true. Like I think a lot of men do want to settle down. It's just finding that particular woman is kind of hard, and then
I'm going to step
It's hard
back
when
into.
you're searching for it in the wrong places.
Yeah,
I want to step back into what Jamian was saying. That when you're saying that these women think men dance around and they don't know what they want, I'll tell those ladies what they need to know. If you are asking if he wants you, you have your answer.
exactly.
He's dancing because
Exactly.
he can keep dancing and you'll stick around.
Yeah, yeah.
And if he wants you and he's direct, he's going to be like,
Yeah.
this is it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you're not
And
going to
they'll
have
know
to
it.
ask questions.
Yeah, you'll know
You
it.
won't have to ask questions.
Yeah.
So
He'll say
But the
certain
third
things
or
to
fourth
let you
time,
know.
because some of these women is looking for validation. You know, they're looking for validation on the outside from this guy to keep telling you like, if a person is with you, I'm not talking about a guy who's in and out, late night. I'm only calling you after 2:00, but I'm still with you, baby.
Right.
Like that's a whole different thing. But if a guy is actually has introduced you to his family or kids, if he has kids, or a guy is taking you around and he's introducing you as such, not just every now and then he bring you around his friends and like, oh yeah, that's wife. I understand those games, but genuinely, I think the majority of men are telling them this. But like the second, third, fourth time, I'm starting to look at a person like, you got there's something going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm not, so I can't necessarily agree.
It wouldn't be.
With Will.
It wouldn't be.
I can't agree. I can't necessarily agree.
If you would agree, it would have been. I don't know. We probably might have to end the show, right?
But I definitely think what Jamian said, like I think men know what they want.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they're waiting around to see if, okay, can we make this grow? Because once you start talking about going down that marriage path, like that's definitely a serious commitment. Yeah. So you got to take, I think most people should take that seriously.
And the key word though is you said men, because we still are dealing with a lot of 50-year-old boys.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm saying? So when you say men, we want to make sure that we define that.
Another misconception is that sometimes I think certain women think we know what they're thinking or have a.
That is a negative.
Yeah, we don't. We do not even close to a clue. Where if you're here, we're way over here with the idea that we think that you might be having. Where, it's.
I'm going to look into that camera and help all ladies. Men do not read minds.
Come on.
Say what you mean and mean what you say.
That is a fact.
I think that's the biggest misconception.
Let's just
whatever platonic relationship, marriage, whatever it is, tell him what it is that you need and make it very specific. Don't keep no ends and ifs. Just let it be what it is.
Oh yeah.
Because if he has to think, he already screwed up.
You know what the situation is. To be empathetic, to be empathetic on the women's side is that most women don't like rejection. They're not used to that kind of
likes rejection.
Right. Well, we suffer through it. Right. We take it. Right. We have to.
Right. It's the rule, right?
Right.
If that women sleep with who they want and men sleep with whoever will let them.
Man, if we get into that conversation, women don't want to hear what I gotta say. We're not gonna do that.
Once again,
I get into that conversation. I'm telling you right now. All right.
I disagree with Will. I'm not doing it. I'm gonna tell you, I'm not with everybody. That's for sure. But going back to being empathetic for when women don't like they're not used to putting themselves out there. I've seen it because I've seen the way, and then they don't know. A lot of them don't necessarily know how to communicate. They know how to talk.
They don't know how to take,
but they don't know how to communicate. So they do a lot of talk. Oh, you should this and that. And you're like, what? Oh, where's this all coming from? Can you communicate this in a different way? And then they're used to this ultimatum thing. And so here's one thing: don't give
a guy ultimatum. Ladies, don't do that
because there's a lot of pride and ego. Yeah. It's a pride. It's pride and ego every time. There's pride and ego involved in it.
We know the right answer.
Yeah,
every time. We for sure always know
on
the right
that end.
Like we know what we're supposed to do. But because you gave us that ultimatum, now it's like we got to show you like you. That's not gonna happen.
Right,
that's that truth for this.
Yeah, but this is
and Mike, we apologize, but I don't think that's ever gonna stop.
Mike was making a good point, as
Will you
unusually
agree?
Does.
You agree?
No.
Timestamp it.
I agree with you at least once every show.
Timestamp it.
But the point is the communication piece. Like I think I think human beings, men and women,
period,
absolutely, with communication,
absolutely,
because
most of us think we're better at communicating than we really are.
Absolutely.
But and what we don't understand is that we're carrying the bullshit from our families and our history and how we operate, and it's like sometimes you have to slow it down and then stop and look around and figure out, okay, did I do the right thing? I just literally went through this last week, and I was like in this very frustrated place, and I started to my girlfriend, and the next thing you know, she's looking at me like, why do you hate me? Like, and I felt terrible. And I really, after she's a very wise woman, and she like slowed me down, and she's like,
That's good.
you said this. It's very upset me. I'm going to take some time, try to figure out what you meant. And then I sat down, and she was like, hey, did you think about what's going on there? And the thing is, I had time to think it over. She didn't push me towards an ultimatum. She didn't tell me I'm a bad person. She just was sad and hurt, and shocked, and then said, try to figure that out. And so
Put it back in your court.
I put it back on me, because really that at the end of the day, because it came out of me, I need to know where it came from, and I need to know
I
how
think
to
she
deal
took
with
a
that.
page out of your book.
That woman
Psychologist
is-
stuff, right?
She's so smart, man. I don't deserve
Is she
that.
older than you, or she's younger than you?
Just a couple young,
Okay.
but definitely wiser.
Do you feel like
You would know
sometimes
that.
What's that?
You would know that I'm not a very wise person.
I was gonna say, do you guys feel like sometimes women think like when we do wrong and we try to apologize, like I feel like they have a sense of a certain apology that they want,
They do.
and
They do. We got a woman in the building. She probably
we don't give it. I don't think we don't.
Not the way they want.
Right, and I think sometimes they think because we don't give it to them the way that they want, it's like
say
we
it
don't
how
care.
I want you to say it.
Right, and it's like
Act how I want you to act.
right.
Be careful what you say.
But that's the misconception,
Right.
right? Because we sound a certain way. We say it a certain way. It's not genuine. It is genuine.
Right.
I meant what I said.
Right.
I said what I meant.
But
I said I'm sorry.
Should we try to learn
You know
how
what
to
I-
apologize and like in their fashion or whatever to understand like whatever, or is it like
That's going to be based on your personal relationship.
Here's my rule.
If you want to make it work with her,
because I feel like Mike, when you Mike,
No.
I said I'm sorry. That's it. Take it how you want it.
Yeah, I absolutely. The old Mike. The old Mike. That's why I spent I'm so careful in crafting my words around, because I don't want to be wrong. So I'm like, but on the off chance that it does happen, here's my rule just in regards to apologies. For men, coming from men or coming from women, an apology needs to come with a gift. I think an apology should come with some type of thought out thing, whatever it is. It could be for women, it could be
so
fly-
Kobe with the $20 million ring.
$20 million. What was it? Like five? I thought it was.
Yeah, I'm
it
buying
was
$5
a
million.
couple
It was
million,
up
right?
there, it was up there.
And some fries.
See. I definitely think apology should come, because from a woman too.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot oftentimes it is lip service.
I'm not-
like, I just wanted to get this person not to talk and said, you got to come with a gift. I'm not accepting an apology if it don't come with something.
I'm gonna say that I won't speak for you guys, but I'll speak for me. I feel that women are not all, but a good majority of them are very bad at apologizing.
Ooh.
That is not a strong suit that they have. I'm just gonna say.
But you
it.
know that's
And if
their
I'm starting to
misconception about us,
I don't
though.
care.
They say we're
It
not
is
good at apologizing.
Listen, women can't apologize.
Would you say pride and ego?
A woman
Pride
to
and
say
ego,
that I'm
absolutely.
wrong, it's very hard to find a lot of women that can literally look a dude in the face and just be like, hey, you know what? I messed up.
I know some. I know some. Really?
But
I'm not.
So when because you said some, so it's not the majority of them.
Well, I know plenty of dudes who can't do it either. So it's not a male female.
I don't think it's ever been a question that men had issues with apologizing. Like a lot of things that we talk about, we've always had that about men. Like there's no question. Men were this, we're this,
Right.
they're logical,
But
they're mean.
when we do apologize,
this
we mean it.
patriarchal society.
Even if it didn't
When
sound
do
the
they
way you want.
apologize? I'll wait. Tell me.
I got no.
Jimmy,
all
you
the
married?
time.
How many
I
times
got
has
it.
your
I
wife
got it
told you
covered. I
I'm
got it
sorry?
covered.
Babe, I messed up. I'm sorry.
You can't.
Okay. What are you doing?
My bad. You know
What's the next question?
what's the next question?
Okay, hold on. This is the worst show ever. Mike rats on his son, and now you're trying to get Jamie and run over by the bus? What is going on? Jeez.
My bad. All right. Never mind. Skip. How do men deal with heartbreak and loss in romantic relationships, and how might their coping mechanisms differ from women? Well, I'll tell you right now, ladies, most men, not all, but probably the younger ones, the younger ones, when they deal with heartbreak, they try to get into that little dog phase. You know, they try to, you know, my heart is breaking. Now I want to go.
Let me get a couple of notches.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get a couple more notches under my belt. I'm gonna have a couple.
The saying they say to get over a man, you need to get underneath another one. That's the saying that they have.
That women have.
That women have.
So
Well, I
they
would
get
thought,
notches on the belt too. Huh?
Wait a minute. I know it's
Get notches too. Huh?
I just seen it said men deal, so I was just trying to figure out. All right, but yeah, I think for most younger dudes, I think that's some of the things that they. No, I was. Well, here it's talking about how guys deal.
I think it says how might their coping mechanism differ from the women's, right? Dealing with the heartbreak. I think most of us, we're not going to show it outwardly as much as the female shows it outwardly about being hurt. Some of us, we carry it a whole lot more different.
We play it off.
And yeah, we definitely play it off, right? Oh, I'm good. You know, now a real man, especially if it was a relationship that most people
knew about,
and that they were together for a while. A real man, you know, they know it hurts them, right? And even though he may not say it from day to day, people know that guy's hurt. But I think going back to misconception though, I think a lot of women want to see us show or tell them I'm hurt, you know, and we're just not built like that. Not all of us. Let me say that. Not all of us, right? But I think inwardly.
I was gonna say I wear
inwardly we're gonna carry it a whole lot more than the female. A lot of females isolate. Their actions are different towards others. Let me get away from the female because I know we got one in the building. But
what is that?
But I would say that we probably won't wear it on our sleeve.
We don't.
Oh, I do.
Oh,
you do?
Oh,
yeah, hell yeah, I do. Hell yeah, I do.
Give us a different perspective.
Listen,
you
as ridiculous as it is that I'm happy to give you my opinion on every goddamn thing, guess what? The pain comes with it.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's important, like, because you got to be honest with yourself and the world around you. If you are sad, you're heartbroken, you know, that's life.
Right.
You know, and when people see that you're in that vulnerable position, they either are going to support you or they're going to recognize your humanity. There's going to be some value in that for you and them.
I agree, but what I'm saying is,
not every man's going to show it to everybody.
He's not going to be out there walking in the street
crying.
Well, I would.
What was at the bar?
I go straight down to the bus stop, cry.
You know, but you know, versus, you know, some females, you know, they might just break like a, you know,
I feel like most women will call their homegirl and stuff like that or whatever, but I feel like most dudes, they probably might not even call their homeboy
at first.
Or it's more like the dude, like their homeboy would be like, yo, like, you know, what's the name? And then that's
like,
But it's just kind of like, oh man, you know, this and that happened or whatever. But they won't sometimes, unless they know that's a dude that's genuine, they have a genuine relationship, they'll probably go into it and whatever. But even then, I don't think a dude's gonna break down in front of his homeboy like, oh man, I'm heartbroken and I'm this. But again, if your homeboy knows how long you've been, I mean, unless you're Will.
Yeah.
But I mean,
this is a cultural difference. You guys recognize this, right?
I think so.
I'm not even joking.
No, I think it is.
There is a very real cultural difference, and I see it like when we have different discussions, and it's so wild to me. It's like some of the things you guys like. Oh yeah, people carrying your coffin and shit. I'm like, I'm fucking white. We don't think of shit like that. You know? We don't look at shit that way. You know, it's like my family believes that every fucking guy is supposed to be John Wayne. You know, you pull yourself up by your bootstraps, carry a gun, and, you know, shoot anyone gets in your way. Like, that's the mentality. So like that whole concept of community and all of those things is not a part of where I come from at all.
Yeah.
And so when you have different friends from different backgrounds, you know, I have friends that, I'll call and talk to them and cry. I have friends I tell I love them and all this. But it's just like, there's not a lot of machismo where I come from. We're not trying to always be, you know, outwardly this and that, you know. By the way, I don't relate to the whole John Wayne thing. That's just the fucking shit my family gave me.
But yeah,
But my dad thinks he's fucking Clint Eastwood. So I'm just like, Jesus.
My father was watching. I saw him yesterday, and he was watching one of those. That's Lee. I don't know what the guy's name was. Some old cowboy. Watch these old 70s, 60s, 70s cowboys. You know, they take a long time to die. They get shot.
Like,
But with that, so they're very similar to that. That same pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You know, that John Wayne or Clint Eastwood type of mentality. I think. Okay, so how do men deal with art? Let me answer that. I think for me personally, it's just to get busy. Like
I can agree with that.
I'm gonna go get
Immerse
busy.
yourself
Go-
into
something,
anything.
whatever it is, a passion.
My work is
Yeah,
like it. Now all of a sudden, I'm
focus,
focused.
super focus,
Super
stupid.
focused
Yeah,
on work, and I'm getting to it. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Get money.
see,
I
that's
can agree. I can agree
Yeah.
with that. Most of us would, but again, not showing it outwardly, right?
right.
Immersing ourselves in different
Right.
things, busy
But
work.
then, like, again, that's why I say, like, the people that know you, they can kind of like be like, man, you know,
Some up. Yeah.
you know, he going through it, but you know, it is what it is. That's why I say, like, if it's your homeboy, and he knows you, he'll be like, okay, like,
What's up?
you digging into that, like, oh, now, like, you went to the gym probably like 2 times a week. Now you there like 5 times a week. You going in ham. Like, it's like, bro, your whole, you know,
it's
and you get it.
Oh yeah.
it's funny because my ex-wife was the one. My first ex-wife was the one who went out and got busy, just working, pushing, and me, I'm the guy. I'm like, I gotta go on a fucking soul journey. Fucking, I gotta go.
I gotta
you know,
heal.
I take time to heal. I'm not pushing myself
And I
through it.
think
I'm like, I gotta sit through it. I gotta let the pain process. That's me. I'm not interested in
That was
burying
17
it.
years.
That
First?
yeah.
Well,
I think that's
I get it.
sometimes we as guys
Definitely
don't
had
take
to
the time
process
to heal during the heartbreak. I think that's the big thing. Like, you know, instead of diving into something, like sometimes we need to take the time to process process the heartbreak. Be like,
Yeah.
you know, and it's okay to be like, yo, like, I love this chick. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't that, and you know, like, it sucks that things happen, but I think also if you're able to like take that in, then you're able to be a better person. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Then you don't jump into a new relationship with apprehensions and different feelings or different triggers and things
Right.
like that. It's kind of like you going there brand new because
Oh,
you
the
don't have
triggers will still be there.
triggers will
Don't
still
worry.
be there, but I feel like it won't. You'll be able to
You'll
get
be more
through
aware.
it. Right, you'll be more aware of it and get through
Well,
it.
it's no different than we talked about this before, right? That you go from heartbreak trying to jump into something new, you're gonna infect the next person
Right,
with your
your
issues,
negativity. Yeah.
right? Your issues that you just dealt with because again, triggers are there. But not only that, memory recall, right? oh, she used to act like this
for me.
Right,
you know. So now you're infecting the next person that you're with because you didn't heal from what you went through, right?
Right.
Heartbreak, right? So we know that any wound that's not treated or any infection that's not treated, it can eventually kill you.
Right.
Right.
And so a lot of people, they don't take the time to heal or to mend their wound, right? They're too busy. And I know men and women who feel like they always have to be with somebody.
Right.
And I've told certain people, you got to learn how to love yourself
Front. You got to be by yourself.
before you
Yeah, you got to be by
Somebody else the
yourself.
right
Yeah,
way.
for sure.
But a lot of us, we don't know how to love ourselves. We don't know how to treat ourselves, right? We dishonor our bodies. We dishonor, the gift that we have personally
Just because you don't want to be by yourself.
just because we don't. So
Yeah.
we rush to go
Yeah.
get with somebody because we don't know how to be alone and love ourselves.
Somebody told them the best way to get over somebody is to be under the new person. That's what Mike said. That's crazy.
There was a study done that where they asked people if they could handle being by themselves quietly for 15 minutes, and 80% of the people said they could not do it for 15 minutes. To be alone with your own thoughts for 15 minutes.
So what? So that just tells you people running from some people, if you know what I mean. Like they're running from something they have to deal.
Like a good hour by myself. Like, I love it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
In silence, like that. The whole thing was just complete silence,
no distraction. 15. You didn't say 15 hours. I didn't say 15 hours. 15 more.
Work
I was like,
ever for that.
I was like, yeah. I mean, I
So many things you can do with it. Like,
Or not.
I like getting up in the morning and going for a walk in the morning for an hour and doing some stretching, and then it's like my day is good after
No one
that.
saying anything. When no one saying anything to you. I think I liked it too much during the pandemic,
Right.
where I was just,
I'm enjoying that solid.
you got to stay over there.
Introvert. It was an introvert's paradise.
My dad was like, so famous. And they're so fun. Like, right, I'm just like, I'm walking up. And they're really good people. But I'm just like,
Oh yeah. If you allow it. My favorite part is he's a realtor. That's my favorite part.
I went through that first. Where you?
Hustling everybody. Now I got choices.
Listen, now I got choice.
I got choices. What does fatherhood mean to men, and how do they approach the task of parenting their children?
That's definitely a personal.
So that's good.
That's a definite.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's a good question. Gonna kick it off?
Fatherhood to me, what does it mean to me? It's everything for me. Like, that's the best thing that ever happened in my life. Like, and it's funny because I remember when my ex, she was pregnant with my daughter. You know, I think most men want to have a boy. And, you know, for me, that's what I wanted to have. But even after finding out that it was going to be a girl, like, I never was like disappointed or, you know, like hurt or whatever. And now I know why. Like, my daughter's everything, man. She makes me the best person I can be. Like,
Best version of you, huh?
what? Like, man, she keeps me on. Like, you want somebody to keep you accountable? Have a kid. They will call you on your stuff when you don't want it. And that's the best time, because when you don't want it is the time that you need to hear it. It's times where I'll probably be ready to act out, or, you know, I'll probably, you know, I'll start getting upset, and she'll be like, Dad, that's the devil getting in you. Whoa, oh. And it's like, you know, somebody else might say that. I'll be like, man, who we talking to? Like that, you know? So, like, just, and then my approach, you know, is just learning how my parents, you know, raised me. And, you know, certain things I take from them and certain things that I don't take, you know, and it's just deciphering in between that and just being able to make sure that I approach it in a certain way that my daughter understands that no matter what, I unconditionally love her, and that despite anything, I don't care what she does in her life, she can always come to me and tell me, and I always got her back regardless of it.
I love it. I love it. Mike, Will?
I'm definitely with Isaac. My two sons I'm batting 2 for 2.
Missing. Did the home run.
He left the door open. I could have taken it. I just want you to know I shut the door.
I got a niece, and that's enough. It's interesting. But 2 boys. I'm not gonna say they're the best thing that happened to me, but I'm living a lot. The majority of everything that I do is for them. So, you know, just making sure the legacy is straight. You know, what they have, they start off on a higher, because my parents laid a beautiful foundation for me. And, you know, so I want to leave an even better foundation for that.
You want me to go?
Go ahead.
You want me to go? Come on, King. I've been, my follow-up is just like you guys, right? Fatherhood means the world to me. It is my namesake for my son, at least. I have 1 boy, 2 girls. But also creating legacy, right? Creating a legacy that'll perpetuate beyond just their kids, right? So for me, I don't look at parenting as a task. I look at parenting as a privilege. It is a privilege to be able to have children. Because everybody can, right? Everybody can. So I'm very honored to have all 3 of mine. I think my growth in parenting has evolved because early I did give them everything, maybe almost up to too late. You know, they'll figure it out, you know. Right. Well, that's it's just another hurdle. So, you know, now I have to try to undo some of the what do we call it? Being spoiled, privileged kids. Because my kids really don't know how well they really do have it. And I know most of our parents they say that or said it to us.
It's an entitlement.
My kids are very entitled.
Right.
I can admit that. It bothers me, but like you said, not that they can't do any wrong. I'm gonna love them through whatever they're going through. Whatever they can come to me and tell me anything what they're going through. The girls really don't come to me at all. Right? They come to the mom. So they think that I'm a little too rough, you know. But you know, I might find out something a little bit later, whatever. But no matter what it is that they've done, they can't do anything to make me stop loving them as much as I do. No matter what, my whole thing is to make sure. And I told my son this. You know, he was getting ready to graduate high school and to go into college, and I told him, you know, his big thing was about football, playing football. And I told him, I don't care. Long as you can get your education, that's all I care about, right? I told him my job as a father was to put him on top of my shoulders and to make sure that he excels everything that I've done in this life.
Absolutely.
And I meant it. You know, you're not a real father if you don't want your children to be better than you.
Right.
And so I want, not just my son, though, I want my daughters to be better than me and their mother and to excel everything that we've accomplished in this life. So that's why I stand there. That's why I stand.
Fatherhood has been, it's the one part of the whole trip that when I meet people who don't want kids, this is the best part of the ride. Like this is the part when you're going up the roller coaster and it's getting ready to go down. Like it's very exciting, you know, and it's super wild. It's unpredictable. And my daughter and I are very close. My daughter and I generally don't keep secrets from each other.
That's all.
She and I have we've had some very funny conversations tonight.
She just turned 21. So how was the oldest?
23.
Okay, so 20.
23, 18, and the youngest will be 16 Sunday.
Okay. And you're 21.
21.
Yeah.
She's you know, my approach to parenting is different than a lot of people. So my whole thing has always been with her is just teach her how to think. I don't want to teach her what to teach her how to think. She'll figure out the rest on that the way she will.
That's good.
And then, you know, I mean, I've had my fair amount of failings and parts of my life where my own bullshit got in the way of being a good father. And, you know, like Jamian said, it's like now I'm correcting that.
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to allow her, like, to me, it's very important. And I feel very fortunate that my daughter feels okay looking at me and saying, hey, do you remember that time this happened? She's like, that really made me. And she will let me know how it affected her and how it actually affects her outlook on life. So I feel very fortunate to have the back relationship
Verse on that.
Yeah.
And it was a learning point.
Right.
And that's the thing with for me and a father, you're learning.
Yeah. For me,
Yeah.
you know, it's tough though, because I got 2 girls. And I think sometimes being a militant man, for me, I kind of say, yo, you girls are overly sensitive. So I have a deep voice and it sometimes can sound harsh, but my talking, you know, even though I may get excited, to them is yelling.
Right.
Well, and I'm not yelling. You know, I'm not yelling.
That's funny. Yeah.
You know, the other day I went and told my daughter, hey, you know, how come you didn't go to work today? And I asked her just like that. And she told her mom, yeah, you know, he came home, he was yelling at me. Yelling? I said, her head was under the cover the whole time. You know what I mean? But that's the one hard thing as a father with girls that I'm trying to, and I've dealt with that their entire life.
That's been with my daughter. That's the thing. Like, she knows I'm a fun dad. She knows I'm fun and everything. But like, you know, when there is something going on or whatever, she'll be like. But the thing is, what I love is, and I always tell her, like, if I hurt your feelings, you can tell Daddy that. Like, it's okay to tell Daddy that, you know, I hurt your feelings, and we can talk about it, and I can explain to you probably why this is what happened or whatever. So sometimes she'll be like, you know, like, when you were talking to me, I just feel like sometimes you're yelling at me.
Say that, man. I'm not yelling. I'm talking randomly.
But I understand it. You know, sometimes I guess when you're talking in that little baby daddy voice with her, and then now you're kind of like, hey, you know, you did this and this. It's a totally different zone. So I guess it's just working or learning how to.
It's crazy how they perceive it, though.
Yeah. Well, but also think about, you know, kids don't want to disappoint their parents.
Yeah.
Right. And if they feel like they disappointed you, now their brain goes into survival mode. Oh my God, I bet he's mad. He's upset. He's like, my daughter has me upset with her sometimes, and I'm looking at her going, she's like, are you upset with me? I'm like, what? Right. Well, I said this. Are you mad? You just haven't said much. And I'm going, I didn't have anything to say about it. So, you know, so it's like, but kids, I mean, even my daughter at 21, she's still concerned if I'm, you know, upset with her or not. And, you know, and one of the things that you said, you know, saying that they're oversensitive, anything that I can share as telling someone they're oversensitive is very hard for them because they're going to carry that now. And the thing you want to try to do is validate and ask them, you know, how did that make you feel? Like, help me understand so I can change my action. And that just creates a two-way discussion with them so that they can look at you and go, oh, wow, this is a new side of Dad. I didn't see this part.
You know, I definitely appreciate it, and I definitely would. I'll definitely try. The one thing about my girls, though, is that it's a monologue and not a dialogue, almost all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Now they'll dialogue with their mother, but they don't want Daddy to know certain things. You know, they already have.
I think it's that disappointment thing. It might be that. It might be like if I tell him this,
Right.
he's probably gonna feel like.
You also have that extra, you know, the pastor thing.
That's a big thing. It's especially for them.
Yeah.
You know, being who they are is not easy, right? So they want to be normal kids, you know, and as bad as I want them to have a normal life, they're looked at it in a different light no matter what, right? You know, no matter what, whether it's somebody trying to criticize them from church, you know, church people do that.
Yeah.
You know, they think they're Christian to judge people. I can't believe it.
No, I can.
Worst guy. You know what I mean? Worst guy. But it's tough for them. And, you know, their mom is good with consoling them in that, you know, and she knows the right thing to say, how to say it, when to say it. Way better than me, you know. But again, you know,
it's good to have that dichotomy, though, to have that balance with the mom and he's being the father.
She's the anchor of the house.
Right.
That's what's up.
Yeah. She's definitely the anchor of the house, and she does bring the balance. I gotta say, I got an A1 for sure.
Yeah,
she holds the house down.
I love to hear
that. You know, not just me. I mean, she's taking care of these girls, and she's working. You know what I mean? So she has to be wife, employee, mother, first lady. You know what I mean? You know, and she runs her own business.
Right.
So, you know, she's well rounded. You know, and just, you know, did a bachelor's, and you know, I think she's getting ready to go back for a master's at the same time. So, very well rounded, but she knows how to deal with them. Yeah, especially from some of our own experiences as a kid. And, you know, we both say, I heard you say, well, you know, I take some things from my parents and some things I don't. And I think all of us take a little bit. Right. You know, pitchfork in the rake is what they call it. Right. You know, or chew the meat, spit out the bone.
Right.
You're right. You know, so I think we all do that. But she's very, very good with her communication with our children.
Did she grow up with her mother and her father? And how
with her mother?
Oh, with her mother. Okay.
Father was there for a little bit, and you know,
right.
But grew up with her mother, and they're very close in age. 15 years.
Oh, okay.
So 15 years apart. But, for her to make a decision to go better herself with her education and, just to deal with even me. I mean, I'm not the easiest person to deal with, I'm going to be honest, but just dealing with it all, I'm like, where else am I going to go? I tell her all the time, I've been with you for more than half of my life. So I ain't going nowhere. You got me.
It's a wild concept. I met a guy, said your wife, her mom was 15 when she was born. I met a guy whose parents were 15, both of them, when he was born. And I was like, oh my God. Like, do that right? I was 29 when my kid was born.
And I was too young.
I'm walking around like a total, moron going, they're going to let me take this kid out of the hospital? These people know me? And to think of, at 15, I'm like, I don't even have a driver's license yet, right?
Yeah.
And it's like when you talk, you can see your own path and understand how it's been with your kids and how you're growing with them and you're learning at the same time at different things. And it's can you imagine being 15?
Right.
And then at the same time, what an amazing reality to realize that by the time you're 35, your kid's grown, off to college.
Oh, yeah.
You're ready to rock and roll.
That's real talk, yeah.
But anyway.
How important is involvement and engagement from fathers in their children's life, and how might this impact their children?
I'll say this, and I said this, I don't know if we said it on camera or off the camera, and I don't want to sound chauvinist, but as the man goes, so goes society, so goes the family, so goes the world.
Absolutely.
Man, right, was built from, we were created or bought from the dirt, and that symbolized we were foundational, right? So we were supposed to be, are supposed to be the foundation. I think that us being involved in our children's lives makes a significant difference.
Without a doubt.
A Christian statistic says, because in the church today, you got predominantly women. There's more women that go to church than men, obviously, right? But the statistic says that when a woman goes to church alone, right, there's a 17% chance that the rest of the family will come and potentially be saved.
Okay.
If the man goes, 93%.
Look at that. Oh, it's wow.
93%.
Wow.
And so again, I say, but again, let's take it outside of the church. When we have these broken homes and children without fathers, you have children who are highly likely to get in trouble, go the wrong way, whatever, have babies early, all of that stuff. So I believe that a male or a father's involvement in their children's life is pertinent to the
paramount.
It's pertinent.
I totally vouch and agree with that. And I can say that because I work in a field where I work with children. And I see when some of these dads come to pick up their kids, it's totally different. The excitement and the joy between mom picking them up and dad picking them up. It's like a squeal, like, daddy. And it's a run. And
What's the ages of those kids?
I mean, you have kids from the age of kindergarten to 12th grade.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm talking about from K to 5. Like when these kids see their dad come to pick them up, it's just a whole different excitement. And it just shows you how important they are. Even when I'm working and, you have the female employee or the female coworker who's working with a particular kid and she just can't get through with them. And then I come and I sit down with them and it's just they're putty in my hand. It's okay, man, what's up with you, man? Why you doing this? And it's just that little talk. And it's just man, you better than this and what's going on with you? And it just shows that just that little bit, that mentorship. Sometimes it's for guys that deadbeats, deadbeat fathers that don't want to be any part of their children's lives, I have no respect for them because it's just dude, you don't understand the impact that you're not that you can have on that child's life. Some of these kids, just because they don't have that dad, some of them make the wrong decisions. Like they go down the wrong path just because they don't have a person in their life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's sad. Like it's sad when you don't have that. So for those guys that have that understand the importance of it, it makes the world better. Like you said, like that 93% rate, that was crazy.
It's huge. It's a big difference. And so again, you know, when we're present, I think that we make a huge impact, and we can see a positive development in our children's, right? In our children, you know, whether it's, you know, academically, whether it's, you know, being out in the marketplace, you know, when they're grown or whatever, when the father's voice is present, it causes the children, like you said, that excitement, the disciplinary
part of it, I think it's a strong part of the father, you know, it's one thing when your mom disciplines you, and it's another thing. I remember coming home and, you know, I probably been acting up for school or whatever, or I've been home all day with my mom, and she probably don't whoop me once or twice, and she, you know, she's through the roof. It's like, I'm done dealing with you. And she pulls up the phone and she goes, do. And she goes, hey, let me tell you about your son. Or she goes, oh, when your dad comes home, I'm going to let him deal with you. The terror.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the fear that comes over you in that moment. I go to sleep.
You got to woke up.
Literally, she tells me that at 4, I'm sleeping by 5 o'clock because I don't want to see my dad come through the door. I know when he comes through the door, it's not going to be a pretty sight. You know what I'm saying? And mind you, my dad was never the person like a big disciplinary. Like like I probably can't say I can count how many times my dad whooped me, but I can definitely tell you that my mom got more whoopings in before my dad.
Right.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? My dad was more of a person, he could sit me down and just talk to me and let me know, like, bro, you cut up one more time, I'm gonna bust you.
Well, I was going to say, it's even the father's voice.
And that's all
sometimes it's not the laying of hands or a belt or anything. It's that voice and that look. His presence.
All it took. Yep, that's all it took. It was terrible.
You know, I'm back off. You know, that's the same thing with my girls and I. You know, at one time they had this little joke. Oh, daddy said he's gonna, you know, beat us because I've never put my hands on him. Mm-hmm. I was too afraid of hurting them.
Right.
You know what I mean? And going too far. But I tighten up with my voice with them.
Right.
And it's my tone, but it's also my look. Mm-hmm. And that terror that you're talking about,
I'm telling you,
that's them, you know. And sometimes it doesn't take, you know, physical action. I'm not opposed to it. It's been a raw sport to try that, you know. But I believe that a father's presence is so important. And I think again, you know, like you said, deadbeat dads and people who don't want to be involved in their children's lives, I have no respect as well. You know, you took the time to lay down. You know, and every time you lay down, there's always a chance. There's always a chance you're gonna put one in there. So
you got to be ready for that consequence. You know what I'm saying?
You got to be ready for it. That responsibility.
Oh, my bad. I apologize. Well, I mean, what I'm saying then is you're right. Responsibility. The consequences not.
I'm with Jamie. A child raised without the father is under every statistical disadvantage. Yep. Across the board, every statistical disadvantage. And on the other side is that a child that's raised with just the father has the same results as a child raised with both the mother and the father. Wow. So when you look at those statistics, that's how powerful it is for a man to be in a child's life. I think the term, this deadbeat thing is definitely, it's an interesting path because nothing is done in a vacuum. Man, I've had the unfortunate, I guess I've been around to see a lot of what the family court is doing to a lot of these men. So while I can't excuse them, because I'm still telling every man, like, listen, I don't care what you're talking about. You know what I mean? If you got to work 2 jobs, your problem is that you don't want to lose to this woman in this aspect of it. But if you have to work 2 jobs or figure it out, I definitely think there needs to be more resources for men, because there's not a lot of resources. And I think we discussed how much it actually costs to go after any kind of custody or with your children. And then depending on what state you're in, it's even worse. So what happens is a lot of men just get dejected because you're being tore down by the person that you may or may not have been involved with. You're getting this, and this is not to excuse anything, because even though, because you can't imagine time until I'm telling people like, hey, that's on you. Step up. You know what I mean? Go figure it out. Go get that second job in order to pay come up with the money in order to pay. And since it's going to take you a year and a half, 2 years to do it, the judge may not look favorably on you because you took so long to get there or whatever it may be. You still got to do it. Yeah, you know what I mean? Because I saw, just recently I saw a brother who had his daughter. The mother was supposed to pick them up at 8 o'clock in the morning. They fell asleep. She sent the police to the house, saying, he wasn't picking up the phone, so the police is coming to the house. You know what I mean? I've seen it where the daughter called and said, hey, can I get an extra 30 minutes with my dad? And she says, your dad knows what the court order states. You know what I mean? So it's like you're dealing with that thing, but in spite of the question I tell them is like, so at what point do you want to take off from being a man? You know what I mean? As a man, there's no days off. Every day you gotta get ready and prepare for battle, whatever that may look like to you. You know what I mean? How whatever your life looks like, you need to get up, you need to do it. So yeah, you working it. I said, if you decided to lay down with this person, you gotta figure out a way. And then this is what happened, just based on what's going on. You're gonna have to figure it out. So go and sometimes I saw the lawyer say it's got to be war sometimes. And sometimes you get in a negotiation, you may have to just not necessarily say what needs, you got to swallow that pride or whatever it is and be like, because I notice halftime is just pride. Like, I ain't gonna let this person, it's not about you.
Like that, I can respect the dude. Like I'm talking about those dudes that are just.
But it's not. But what I'm saying, it's not as prevalent. It's not.
It's just having babies.
But it's not as prevalent as you think it is. Because when you look at the actual stats of it, it's like the top 15% of men are having the majority of the babies. So it's not necessarily the majority of men that are having these children and that aren't taking care of them. You got so yeah, we can say the minority of the men, these 10 to 15%, like they would paint black men as being the most deadbeat fathers out. That's the narrative, right? And then when you look at the stats, this is from the government, stating that the black men are the most involved in their children's lives. So if you give them even more of a chance to be in their children's lives, or not more of a chance, at this point in time, you just got to fight for what you got to fight. We got to start setting some precedents. You know what I mean? And need to be letting it be known. But I get it, because I know a couple.
Yeah, and that's
yeah. I know.
I'm not talking about.
I know.
In the court, trying to get in there.
But I'm saying the majority of them.
There are guys that are trying to do that in there.
But the majority of men are. Yeah. But the majority of them are fighting, of course, because if you in Georgia, a year or two ago, and these lawyers will tell you that, they'll tell you, hey, listen, what you gonna do? Spend $75,000 and you still not gonna get nowhere with it?
I'm talking about these dudes that have the mother that's not even trying to put them on child support, and they can be involved. It's just like, forget it. Yeah, it's just like for real. That's what I mean. It's just not like.
Well, no man that's gonna stay around me is that's gonna happen. Like, we gonna have these conversations. We're gonna continue having these conversations until you decide I'm not gonna hang out with Mike Deforn. And I think that's what we need to. I think that we all need to do is just hold these men accountable. I'm at the point where I'm telling guys as well. It's like, listen, you got kids, whatever. You don't have insurance, no temporary insurance, and you a young man. You could easily pay $30-$40 for term insurance to get like $300,000-$500,000. You know what I mean? So you can't. That means that you shouldn't eat for 2 days out this month. Instead of going to Bole twice this month, go and use that money to go pay for term insurance and just go on a water fast or something. You know what I mean? So I think these are the conversations with these standards, is like when they get around you, like, oh, nah, I don't have nothing for you. What's going on with your child? What's going on with that? Let's have these deeper conversations, because if we're because I think real men, I'm talking to David, real men, more real men, quote unquote real men, or men with values and men with ethics and morals need to get together and start saying, okay, listen, we're not gonna sit here and laugh about this, because it was a time we just laughed. Oh yeah, I get them kids, man. I get them kids every 2 weeks, whatever it is that we younger, whatever. But at this point in time, you're 35, 40 years old, whatever it is, we gotta say, listen, okay, I hear you. We're gonna have this conversation, and we're gonna have this conversation until you sick of me, or you do what you're supposed to do, or you get from around me.
Invest in your kids.
Right? Take care of them kids, man.
Invest in them heavily.
But it's funny, we have all these conversations about dads. No one has ever talked about what it's like when a daughter grows up without. Because regardless of those statistics,
You can't, regardless of the. No. You
I
can't
can tell you.
You can't just to take away the stuff. Statistics.
Statistics are numbers. They don't tell the whole story.
Okay, so tell the story. They're not going to tell the individual. They're not going to tell the individual story. They're going to tell what's going on, what's probable and what's not probable, or what's probable and possible. So let's talk about the possibilities of life.
Probabilities.
The possibilities.
A girl being raised without a mother.
Okay.
My daughter in particular has an issue with feminine energy. She cannot be around women very easily and has a hard time understanding what it's like and what she's supposed to, how she's supposed to be as a woman.
Okay, I can understand.
And just like when we had the discussion about, the one question I think when we first started was, it takes a man to turn a boy into a man, or what have you. And it's the same for a girl. A girl needs to understand what feminine energy works like and how it functions. And those are very important pieces. Not all fathers are capable of connecting with their daughters on a level that a girl can really connect and understand. And that's what's very complicated thing.
Yeah.
It was both ways. There's certain things that a woman can only give a girl, and there's certain things that a man can only give a boy.
Right. Yeah.
We do focus a lot on the male perspective and how
That's what the show calls.
life. Right. Right. But we have to recognize that.
No, we don't, because they already have platforms for it. So this is the issue I'm having with you now. This is what the issue I'm having is that is because you try to negate all this other stuff. We're just breaking it. You did. You said you just said
I'll negate statistics whenever I think the statistic is skewed.
how. Okay, explain how is it skewed, please.
How it's
Yes, how do you explain how you negated the statistic and it being
a
skewed?
statistic is a number. I could sit and I can fill out a form, and then that form, you know what it is? Creates a number, and then no one knows the story behind how that number actually was created.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just
So then where do we start from? Where does the conversation start from? And the next thing first off, where does the conversation start from? If we can't talk about statistics, and we can't talk about the numbers that people took time to compile, and it's not like as if we were attempting to, like the narrative was already that men are great fathers, or especially in our community, that men are great fathers, or men are in their people's lives. And I'm definitely talking about how men need to take accountability and responsibility for their actions. But if the Department of Labor comes up with statistics, you're well within your bounds to question them. But do you know how to question them scientifically, or you're just going to question them from I feel like
I question things based on actual experience of people I've known. As a person who grew up without a father for the first 12 years of my life.
Okay.
And my dad was a fucking deadbeat.
Okay.
So I have personal experience. I don't need a fucking statistic to explain it to me. So when I see people tell me about a statistic, I can tell you that a statistic is a number and it tells only part of the story. It doesn't tell the entire story.
That could be true.
That's the truth.
No, that could be true. But in order for you to negate a statistic and have a logical or have some type of conversation with that, if you just said, this is how I feel.
I didn't say it's how I feel.
No, I said, if you said that, right, then I can validate a lot of your conversations. But if you tend to negate an actual a statistic, a scientific study that was done based on your personal experience, which you can do, but it doesn't carry much weight when we put it on that side. But that's,
No, you're correct. But I also have seen there's so many statistics I've seen over the years that we later
I don't know about those. I don't know about those and these things that you're pulling out of the air. I'm talking about these statistics that I'm talking about. And if you have a study that goes against what I'm talking about, then I think it's an open discussion. But if it's going to be based on our own personal experiences, then what's the point of that? Then where do we start from?
Well, you recognize the humanity in life.
I've been doing it. I've been saying it. Even when we're talking about, I don't have any respect. I'm saying I don't have any respect for but I say I have empathy for this. I can understand that. Things don't come and happen in a vacuum. From a woman's side, the empathy is here. I get it, but it don't just say, because what you're doing is you're discrediting just the argument period overall. But you're not, but you're not discrediting it based on any kind of actual facts or anything, or any kind of studies you're doing. You're just doing it based on experience. And I personally think that's disrespectful. But
well, I think the main thing is that Will was trying to bring up the point of how detrimental it would be for a girl to grow up without a mom. Right, be motherless. And I'm pretty sure we all understand how detrimental that would be for, a boy or a girl to grow up without a mom. But,
I don't have no problem with it. I don't got no problem with someone saying that, because I definitely think families and traditional families, both the mother and the father, are needed. I spoke about you and your wife and the dichotomy between you and your wife and having to be able to have that balance. I'm not saying that that's not it, and I don't think anyone can refute that at all. But but to discredit scientific study or statistics done just based on my personal experience in the small sample, because that I know, I think that's an interesting place for someone to take.
Yeah, the thing is, most children are going to grow up with their mom. I don't know what the statistic is, but
it's not common.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying? We here sitting here understand that more than likely, if it was 9 times or whatever times out of 10, the woman will probably be the caretaker of that child. Yeah. You get what I mean? And it's not whether court based or whatever like that.
No, it is court based from but this only happened from 1950 on. Prior to 1950, the children went with the fathers.
Okay.
So after 1950 and this current traditional family court law system, the children now went to the mothers, because at that time the fathers were known as the breadwinners, and it's never changed. We starting to see parents and different, depending on the state, those will get more 50% custody, and you do have to fight for it. Regardless of whether you sign that birth certificate. In case you all think I just signed the birth certificate, it's my child, unless you're married. If you're married, then they have to work it out.
But what I'm saying is, even before courts were in, I'm just saying, I think women were more of the person inside of a child's life. Okay.
First teachers.
Right.
I agree. I agree.
Right. Okay, cool. So I think, right, nursing them along and all that good stuff. So us understanding that, I think what we're trying to just basically say is, we understand the importance of the woman, but I think what we're trying to say also is the importance of the dad is as important because of the things that
I think that's what the question
bring and give the impact to children. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think at the end of the day, we all agree on the same thing, but I understand where Will's coming from to bring that light to women as far as the importance, but I'm pretty sure that's almost like a no-brainer. You know what I'm saying? As far as the importance of women in a child's life, it's very instrumental in it.
It's not.
Huh? It's not?
Apparently it's not, no. I think, yeah.
What's your take, Will? Yeah, I don't know. I was me too, though. So my answer today, though, is based on my experience, one, of not having one, but me being present,
right, mm-hmm.
And all the vibes. And my answer is because I am a very active. Like you said, my daughter has an issue. There's a question, conversation.
Now, my question about you is, how did it affect you not having a dad in your, you said you didn't have your dad for the first 12 years of your life, and I'm not sure how long you didn't have your dad, or if he, whatever, but what I'm saying is, that effect, you know what I'm saying, that impact on your life, having to grow up knowing that you didn't know your dad for a certain amount of time, how did that bother you and impact you?
So, you want to go first? I mean, my dad lived 5 minutes down the road.
Oh, snap.
I saw it, man. So I got to see my dad maybe once, twice a year.
Wow.
So, and when I was 12, when I was 12, that was when my stepfather came in. And so, it's.
So you were raised by your stepfather?
When I was 12. Right?
And then your father, your biological father was never in your life?
I saw him once or twice a year.
Okay.
My father and I actually started to talk when I was about.
I think that's a beautiful thing.
My dad's I like my nice guy, but like when people meet him, they're always like, "Wow, your dad's really cool." I'm like, "Yeah, he's a shit father, but he's a good guy." and I'll keep everything on the level, man. I don't have a problem with that. But my stepfather, on the other hand, I love my stepfather. He's a pretty rough character, and not in the sense that people would understand, like growing up in a household with somebody who, doesn't really value empathy a great deal. And it's one of those things where you're just like, oh. But for me, at least the fucking guy showed up.
Right.
And so when I've had people ask me, what it's like to be raised around that type of thing, I'm like, fuck, man, I was taking any dude that showed up. I wasn't trying to be picky.
Right. And that's the impact. Like, you got kids that are just looking for a male figure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely social. Definitely. Me, mine's a little different. I never had mine around. I grew up in my early years, grew up in Broward with my god sister, and her father and my father were best friends. My father took off, went back to Canada. Yeah, so as my god sister continued a relationship with her father, as a kid, I'm like, ask them what's up with my dad, because they were best friends.
Right, exactly.
Hey, what's up with my, my dad? No, time went on. I'm, good in football and in school, and his best friend came by and visited me at my home, and you got your dad eyes.
Right. So
at this time, I'm like, I want to hear things.
Exactly. Right. I'm already doing what I'm doing.
I'm gonna see what I can do to see if y'all can talk. And in my mind as a young kid at that point in time, I said, if he ain't here when I'm 18,
I'm out. Absolutely.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I ain't worrying about it. You know what I mean? I have to learn how to be a man on my own from there.
Right.
So, yeah, seeing other kids with dads and different things, I'm like, dang, it's something that, I wanted really bad.
Did you all get together at some point in time?
No. Got a whole nother family up there in Canada. Heard he was writing songs and everything. So
where's he from originally?
He's a French Canadian.
My father wasn't in my life. My father didn't come back until I was 17, 18. He moved us. We was in Jersey. He moved us down here when we were 5 or 6, and he went back to Jersey. And I would see him on the weekends or whatever. So same harbor, 17, 18, you come. When he got back to the house, it was like bulls in a china shop. It was, but because by that time I'm playing football, lifting some weights. So now but man, one thing I got to give for my mother was my mother never allowed me to disrespect my father. So me and him got into a point where we were putting hands on each other. You know what I mean? Where it was, you know what I mean? Because I'm starting to smell myself. You know what I mean? And you can't tell me nothing. Because I remember when he told me when he came down to visit, and I think I was 9 or 10. He was like, you the man in the house. So I took that, you know what I mean, and said, okay, I'm the man in the house. I'm protecting my sister. I'm protecting my brother, and still harbored all this resentment. And it wasn't until my mother passed in 2020, and she had cancer, so we had to take care of her. So we're taking care of her, and he was doing his thing. And even then, I was hot because he's coming, because she was in Jamaica at one point. And your father's doing all he can, and this, that, and the third, and all that. So she passed, and still had that feeling like, where you was? And then I felt like, I know you. So you're trying to put on this, but I know you growing up. However, man, I'm telling you, over the last maybe year and a half, my brother, I wouldn't say we grew close because he's still him. Like my father's still, I call him a city boy. Like he's a city boy. You know what I mean? Like he's a Jamaican city boy, you know, and my grandfather was similar. Like I remember we went to his funeral. One thing about those women, my grandma, we went to the funeral. We had his other kids were there. They were staying at the house. She was taking care of them. Matter of fact, she filed for one of his kids that came here, and my father and their brother, the best friends. He's super city boy, and even now, nice guy. Yeah. My father, like if Beethoven's like, man, don't talk about it, you know, that's my guy, because he's just a really nice guy. Yeah. But me, I don't see how I see it, because y'all allow, and I'm talking to my uncle, like y'all allow this type of stuff to happen. You know what I mean? Where I felt like I had to step in. Even come back to Palm Beach was because, you know, I felt like I'm a son husband. You know, that's what they call it. All of a sudden, I want to make sure my mother's straight, especially after my sister's passed. So, but what I realized in the last year and a half, man, is that we often say, okay, it starts from here in regards to this legacy and moving forward. And I want to be the one to straighten out this generational curse or this bloodline, you know, whatever thing is that we say. I realized that I can't do that unless I make amends with my past. So I had to go back to him, and I had to have conversations with him and still allow him to be him. And I think last week we spoke about it, is about giving people the space, you know, in this case, him, giving him that space to be him. So, you know, we go see him and he loves his grandkids and they think he's the best in the world. You know what I mean? It's just me and my brother looking at him kind of awkward or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, it's like, man, you know, you got to love each and every piece of you, because if not, I felt as if I'd be filling this hole from him not being here with something else. You know, I'd be trying to put a square peg in a circle, you know, in the circle hole or whatever. Yeah, trying to fit it in. But as long as and not in the forgiveness and the love and all that can't come from, it's not about him, it's about me. So I do the space love him, but have those healthy boundaries saying, you know, because like I said, he's a city boy. He's the type of person, he catch one-way tickets. I don't know when I'm leaving. And he's not going to tell you. You know what I mean? Like he's just there, you know, I've learned, but this is like my thing for, when I talk to any other man who has that friction with their father or whatever, you know what I mean? Especially as we start to grow older and we start to become more mature, et cetera, like that, because it hurts. I'm talking about 45, 50-year-old men that's like my father. I heard someone say, "Oh, I can't miss him I didn't have." You may think you don't miss it, right. But it's something there. It's something there. Shows. And then I've seen someone where they lost their father and then get a chance, and it was this. And when people now, and it's like it's harder to make up with someone when they're passed. You could do it. You can do it.
And whose father passed, and like you said, they weren't on good terms at the time, and he had ample opportunities to fix the relationship.
Don't do it for them. But don't.
You want to talk about his biggest regret? If you ask him today,
it's that
it crushed me. Like, I mean,
not for them, man.
That grief, and I mean, I think he still lives with. I mean, he's gonna live with it probably for the rest of his life, just knowing that he never took that opportunity to mend things and to make therapist. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was, yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It is so. Yeah.
Well, one of the cool things for me of having made amends with my father is, like, I have gotten to know him. I talk to him just every couple of weeks.
Out of the country, right?
Yeah. We went to Iceland together, and like he's my dad's, like I say, he's a good guy, but it's really funny because I was able to talk to him and ask him what the fuck happened. Like, you just fucking whoosh, gone. Like, and you know, he shared with me, you know, what happened, how he felt, you know, as a young man at 2 years old, and, you know, working in a factory and shit. And basically, you know, it's like, you know, I hear his story. I don't agree with how he dealt with it, but I hear the story and I understand. And, you know, as you've gotten older, right, I'll look around and we look at each other and we're like, you know, people are like, oh, that guy fucked up doing this and he did that. And it's like, yeah, he did, but man, I hate to say it because I don't want to sound like that guy, but everybody's doing their best. And sometimes your best is shit.
Yeah.
Yo, that's true. Dang, that's a bar. That's really a bar. Like, sometimes that's true. The best you can do is still going to be the crap.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's, you know, learning to humanize that person. And once you can humanize them, and like even knowing that your dad's a city boy,
super city boy,
and
And
Oh, I got all my uncles is
I think that's
right.
knowing that
It's crazy.
I don't have to agree with what happened, but I can at least respect where it was going from. You know what I'm saying? And
When you understand that conversation.
right.
But the young man who never has that conversation is left to wonder.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't, because you can't really associate personality. You can't associate that person has become, and what they mean to other people. The one thing that I always think is interesting is that you are a different person to every person around you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's agreed. That's true.
Agreed. I guess it's a wrap, fella.
And on that right there, I like that.
Good note.
The action.
Session tonight.
absolutely.
Michael, see everybody wore a black shirt. Well, the can of war.